Welcome to StarCard Podcast. Here at StarCard Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations, and I'm going to do it again today. Today is January 28th, 2026, and you've tuned in to a live tarot throw. We're going to start off the show with something I just came up with called Haiku Tarot, where the tarot world is going to be invited to send us a positive, inspirational message in the format of throwing the cards like a haiku poem. Then I'm going to speak, according to some notes that I prepared, about the theme that we talked about the last couple of days and the concept of the deep fake and how they treat deep fake off planet. Then in about 35 or 40 minutes, it'll be time for tarot for the audience. If you're tuning in live and you would like a tarot reading for the second part of the show, please check my notes in the chat. I've listed all the decks. I'm going to show you all the decks in a little while. And I've also encouraged you to type your request in all capital letters, tarot, please. I'm going to check for messages in capital letters again in about a half an hour. And we'll make sure we get everyone a tarot reading who requests one. In case anyone is interested, there is a description. It's very detailed. It's chock full of links. And it does include links to the two books that I published called The Convoluted Autobiography and Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. And there's also a donation link if anyone is interested. I've also put that tip jar link in the chat. All right, just getting that out of the way, everybody. Now, you've tuned in to see the real star of the show and hear from the tarot world. So why wait any longer? Let's go to the tarot cam. Right on. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm as surprised as anyone to be here. But I was on my hike yesterday, and I came up with some ideas to follow up on my last two presentations. So we're going to go for it. Today, I'm introducing Tarot Haiku. And I pulled out the Ethereal Bloom deck. I'm going to show you the box. I pulled out the Ethereal Bloom deck because it has flowers on it. And also, if you look at the back of the deck, it looks like cherry blossoms. And I know cherry blossoms are like a cool thing in Japan. And haiku is a poetry form from Japan. It's written out in such a way where you have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. No, I'm not throwing all those cards. But what I am going to do is I'm going to set it up like that. I'm going to go 2, 3, 2. So first, we're going to shuffle the cards and randomize them. We think we're randomizing them, but the universe is really putting the tarot cards in order for us. And it's going to spell out a fun, inspirational message, one that all the people tuning in can enjoy and appreciate. Hello, tarot world. We're drawing the curtain. You get to stay. You get to step to the stage and show us your stuff. Here we go, tarot world. Let's try tarot haiku. Fun, inspirational message. Tarot haiku. So I take the top card off and make that first. And the bottom card is my last one. By the way, my eyes are closed right now. So here's the second card. That's right. Am I going the right way? Yes. There's the second card. Now I need 3 in the middle. Got a fan here. Got a fan over there. I'm going to cut. 2, 3. And then, oh, wait, let me create a little bit more space. There we go. And now we need one more card. That guy just wanted to come out. Hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am clearly entertained when I'm having a good time throwing tarot cards for everyone. I hope you all enjoy this message. Here we go. The first 2 cards in Tarot Haiku today. The Knight of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. So I'm going to read to you about the Knight of Swords from the Craft Cards Tarot Deck Guidebook. Because the 2 of Pentacles talks about paying attention to more than one thing. You know, you're spinning a couple of plates there. So let's see what the Knight of Swords has to say. Well, it's a long one, everybody. The Knight of Swords. You are ambitious and excellent at what you do. driven to success, and present great leadership qualities. You are ready to jump in and seize the moment. You are a risk taker, exciting, forward thinking, and adventurous. Just be careful with being impulsive or impatient. It could lead to hasty decisions. You are not afraid to go against the flow. You are like a champion or a warrior charging into battle. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Charge. Hey, everybody. While I was reading that out loud, I was imagining an amusement park. And when we're the right age to enjoy amusement parks or water slide parks, for example, as soon as we get through the gate, I want to do everything. I want to go on all these rides right now. Of course, you have to take your time and you have to plan things out and do what you can do and fit it all in. But anyway, I feel like that's the way we feel. We got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of energy and we're ready to do lots of stuff all at the same time. And when we say all at the same time, that's an interesting concept because off planet time is like a different thing. All right, let's go to the middle sentence. So, in the haiku, of course, the first line sets the stage and the environment. And then there's some kind of action that takes place in the middle line. And then just to get you ready, everybody, hang on. I want a little bit more space. Let's review again how the haiku dynamics work. So you have set the stage. Here is the setting. Here is some kind of action. And then the last two cards usually show like some kind of change. So, when you have your rising action, but actually when you have the denouement and you have the descending action, it actually ends up being inverted. I wonder if that's what's going to happen here. All right. So anyway, we're all ready to go into the amusement park and ride everything all at once. Then, sweet. Well, so we got the Queen of Wands, right? And she's the zest for life lady. She's courageous and determined. Did we say zest for life? I want to go on all the rides at once. I want to know everything right now. Okay. And welcome to StarCard Podcast. My name is Breakaway Ray. When I see the Eight of Swords, my expression, my little phrase for this card is as much as you can imagine. It would take me like 10 minutes to explain why, but as much as you can imagine, have a zest for life, as much as you can imagine. And I suppose if you're here at StarCard Podcast, you're here to hear some new ideas. Not to say that you couldn't have found these yourself, but you know what? You have a job and you have a family, you have other responsibilities, and you don't have all this free, unoccupied time that Breakaway Ray does. So here I am. I'm trying to share what I'm learning with people who have the same interests as me. All right, great. I wonder what happens here. All right, so we set the stage. We're going into the park. It's an amusement park. We want to learn everything we can about all the things they never taught us about in school. Again, as much as you can imagine, we are enthusiastic students. And then what happens after we go to school at StarCard Podcast? What do we learn? What happens? What are the effects? The Four of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. I'm supposed to make this positive, right? And inspirational. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles talks about holding on to what is precious. And, when you consider, just for an example, most of us have moved in our lives. And when we change locations, sometimes we have to leave some belongings behind. We gently thank it for how it's played a role in our lives and a place in our homes. And then we send it to the refuse pile because we don't need it anymore. So we have to pick and choose what is precious to us to hold on to. And that could include knowledge. And then I suppose the Five of Swords says, get ready, because that's just where the conflicts are beginning. I mean, for example, yesterday, I quickly mentioned how I am at odds with Google over their definition of metempsychosis. Okay, so there's probably going to be arguments and conflicts everywhere we go with the knowledge that we acquire now that all these veils are coming down and the internet is allowing us to express ideas and share them around the world instantaneously. And now we are on the precipice of everyone going auto-dub, which means my messages can be heard around the world in any language at the time that I share these ideas. That's exciting. So we do have to remember, and this is going to be the theme of today, is there going to be conflict? Yes. let's turn the Five of Swords upside down, and let's read about the Five of Swords reversed here in this book. Five of Swords reversed, because we're going to turn it into a positive. We're going to turn that concept upside down. The Five of Swords. Am I jumping the gun here? Because we're going to be asking the tarot world about this again soon, more specific. Okay, Five of Swords reversed. This is another long one. Five of Swords reversed, everyone. Five of Swords reversed. You are ready to resolve conflicts at work or at home, ready to make amends, release stress, and move on. Sometimes peaceful resolution and overcoming challenges can turn into further escalation, where you can be presented with serious dilemmas and negative emotions. Try to make amends, but if reconciliation is impossible, it is better to walk away, move on, and open yourself up to new positive energies and constructive ideas. Did anyone else see the image of the Eight of Cups card, the walk away card, in their minds while I read that out loud? And if you did, do not doubt that you are also a channel and that we have a telepathic connection, just for example. All right, I want to thank the Tarot World for that special first Tarot Haiku throw. Let's give these cards a shuffle. All right, and then let's show you the decks that are available today, right? So everyone knows which decks they can request. Ooh, sorry, this is a heavy tray. Okay, all right, so we have the classic Rider-Waite Tarot, and this is the deck where the words are written on the cards. I've only been throwing tarot cards since March, but when I started using these, I learned tarot in a hurry. We have the Robin Wood deck. That is the other classic deck that you need to know if you're learning tarot. And I want to compliment myself because, you know, I set out a couple of weeks ago to become more acquainted with this deck. And I started every show with the Robin Wood deck for the last couple of weeks, except for today, right? And I just want to say, I feel like I know the deck better. You probably see that I know the deck better. And anyway, practice makes perfect. I don't know if I'll ever get to be perfect. All right, we have the very, very popular Neon Tarot here. I might as well just leave that one out. We have one called the Lost Soul Tarot. We have two different versions of Rider-Waite foil. We have one called the Dark Foil here because the colors are a little bit richer. There's the world. It's a foil, it's a little holographic kind of, okay? And then I got a lighter version right here. So not so much color on the back. Still wonderful to look at on the back. And then, wow, the world card looks pretty fantastic there too. Let's compare. Only, you know what? Let's do one where we're not worried about anyone's sensitivities here. Here we go. Let's check out the two different judgment cards. They're both exactly the same, are they? I think one's got color that's a little bit deeper. And so anyway, there's the dark foil and the light. All right. I already showed you the Ethereal Bloom deck. Here is the Stained Glass Tarot that I often confuse for the Neon box. I need to pay attention. This is the 88 Gemstones deck. I really like this deck. It's gold on black, a little bit of a shine there. Whoa. Check out the King of Pentacles. All right. And then I have one here called the Old Style Tarot by Alexander Ray. Wonderful, detailed imagery, almost Baroque. That's available, everybody. And finally, the Mermaid Tarot. I'm not going to open it up, but I think the name gives it away. And it is a very dramatic deck, everybody. All right, let's get these set aside. I wonder if I could edit out the grunting. All right, so coming upstairs, everybody. Oh, did you guys get a peek of my notes down there? Yeah, I got 3 pages. I wrote them yesterday. I was on my hike, reviewing the show. I especially like the 4 cards at the beginning, the 2 for here, 2 for later. I used those cards yesterday. But anyway, came up with some notes to follow up from yesterday. I'm excited to share them with you. There'll be a little bit of a summary. And then don't forget, everybody, in about 25 or 30 minutes, we're going to head to tarot for the audience. All right. So I'm going to turn on a little light down here so I can see what I wrote. All right. Yesterday, I came to the conclusion that auto-dubbing was going to be changing social media and how popular people can get. I'm going to put popular in quotation marks because, again, you got 8 billion people on the planet. And if everyone understands everybody through auto-dubbing, for sure, you'll get 1 million hits. Okay, a million is a very small percentage of 8 billion, right? All right, so we're going to continue with those thoughts. We're going to review some of the things that I lined up yesterday. Again, not everyone was in class yesterday. Yeah, I used to be a teacher, everybody, in case you're new here. So I want to just get everyone up to speed and review cultural examples that a lot of us know about, where we're talking about replacing someone's voice, for example, or image, or even a whole person. So let's go through the notes that I compiled, shall we? All right. I got to turn on the lights. I'm not trying to be spooky here. All right, here we go. So I call this episode The Law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. Yesterday, I could not remember the term deep fake. I was surprised. And you probably saw me stumble over it when I was trying to express myself. But anyway, a deep fake is when there's like a video and it shows somebody doing something, but it's totally fake. You know, in the 20th century, we were not aware of this kind of thing. So if you're born in the 20th century like me, maybe you've had to expand your consciousness a little bit to allow this thought in. Well, also, if you're a moviegoer, as you'll see, you know, they give us hints about this stuff. This is all stuff that's going on right now. This is for entertainment purposes only. You're tuned in to StarCard Podcast. And yes, I believe that there are breakaway civilizations where everybody else is doing this stuff and we're the only people on the block that don't even know about it. It's like we gave up. We said, no, you guys go ahead and do it. We're just going to live down here with no technology and no real knowledge. We're happy this way. If you're tuning in to StarCard Podcast, you didn't agree with any of the things I just said. All right, so let's go back to my notes here. Oh, yeah. So I'm calling this the Deep-Fake-A-Rama, the code, the law of deepfake, because off-world, they already know. The general public knows. I mean, they may not know much. They may know and be aware as much as we are here aware of. Let's try that again. Off-planet, I hear that there are other planets and space stations and moons and what have you, where people may know as little as we do about what's beyond them, right? Maybe they live on another planet where they think they're the only ones, right? So anyway, one thing that they do know is that, you know, because their technology is much more advanced than ours, if they see a video of somebody doing something, you know, it's just a video. It could mean anything. You know, when it comes to like a court of law, you have to have live witnesses, because if nobody actually saw anyone did it, or you don't have any, you know, evidence in some other form, okay, the video could show anything. It really could. All right. So I'm going to go through my notes now so I don't lose my place. Here I go. And so the first thing we talked about yesterday, in a linear timeline, I mentioned the old Godzilla movies. I wonder if anyone born in the 21st century has seen any of the old Godzilla movies. You might want to just, you know, look it up online and watch 10 minutes of it. But what's fun about the old Godzilla movies, one of the fun things is that the movie is in Japanese, but when you watch them here in the United States in the 20th century, you either get subtitles, or the best part is you have actors and actresses, professionals, speaking in English and re-recording the soundtrack, right? So you could just watch it and it's like people are talking and you understand everything because it's done in English. In my case, it would be English that I would want to hear, right? And so I want to say that there's a part in the book, Series Colony Cavalier by Tony Rodrigues, where he tells about his work in the submarine and how if you're in certain parts of the ship, everybody can understand everybody else. Now, he talked about there was like Italian guys and other German-speaking people. There are people of many ethnicities aboard. They're all slaves on this submarine spaceship outside Planet Ceres. All right. But when they all stood like in the elevator, they could all understand each other. All right. So that's like it's like related, right? Instant communication, understanding one another just on a 3D level. All right. So we talked about dubbing, old style, dubbing in people speaking English, probably actors from the United States of America, recording over Japanese dialogue so everyone can enjoy the Godzilla movie even better. All right, next. Okay, so now, how about the movie The Running Man? Now, The Running Man, I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's based on a very good book. And what I liked about The Running Man, the very first one, is that it had Richard Dawson in it, and he was like the first host of the Family Feud. He was also in Hogan's Heroes, I think. So anyway, that's the one that I'm talking about there. And in the movie, The Running Man, Richard Dawson plays another game show host. But the real crux of the movie is that there's a hero in the movie, a protagonist, and there's a movie that shows him flying a helicopter and then authorizing an act of violence upon the public. Of course, that's terrible and atrocious. That's terrible and atrocious. It was just a movie. And of course, he never did it. But because everybody thought he did it, they saw a movie that showed him doing it, okay? They put him in jail. And then one of the ways to get out of jail was to survive this game show that Richard Dawson was a host of. All right, that's The Running Man. That sounds like deep fake right there. When was that movie? From the 1980s? So that sounds like a long time ago. You don't think they have deep fakes already off planet? Again, this is called soft disclosure. They're just tossing it in there because they're supposed to tell us this stuff. They're supposed to tell us, and then we're just supposed to yield and say, well, you guys go ahead. That's pretty fancy imagination stuff. You guys are great at entertaining us. I'm going to go back to work now with my 2 jobs and my long days and try to survive and put food on the table. So that, I like it sometimes when my mind wanders like this, because another thing that they have off planet is that they have grapefruit-sized energy devices that power homes. And this is a conversation for another day, but I'm inviting other content creators, other people who have podcasts to spread the word, okay? And this word came to me via John Whitberg and his book, The Man with Periwinkle Eyes, Volume 4, I think it is, the new one, okay? So there's grapefruit-sized, plasma-powered energy devices, and off-world energy is considered a human right. Let's put it in those terms. It's considered a human right, okay? And if you're poor or even a slave, it is supplied to you or it is subsidized. All right, now let's stay on target, Breakaway Ray. Moving on. All right, the next movie I talked about yesterday was Spider-Man Homecoming. If you remember the end of that movie, the villain, superhero, Mysterio, arranged a video to make it look like Spider-Man was again authorizing an act of violence on the public. All right, that's the second time. That's the second example. What's up with these examples? Why do we always bring this back? Authorizing an act of violence on the public. Why is that always a repeated thing? I mean, obviously it's to outrage the public and turn the public against the person. I understand that. I understand. I wonder why that keeps coming up though. Kind of. Well, I do wonder, and I got lots of questions. All right. Now, so we talked about the deep fakes in those 2 movies. That was supposed to be science fiction. We talked about how American actors would dub English over Japanese dialogue in Godzilla movies, okay? And then I shared yesterday my discovery of auto-dubbing when I was listening to a friend watch Breakaway Ray Gives Thanks. It's in the Typical Skeptic podcast playlist at StarCard Podcast, and it was being done in Portuguese. I heard my voice, I heard my inflections, I heard my emotions and my presentation. It was all in Portuguese, and I had no idea what I was saying. That's quite remarkable. So things have really changed. That's like a big thing to get your mind around. That well, anyway, yeah, get your mind around that. I'm still trying to do that. Let me move on with my notes here. All right. So yesterday I also shared, and again, it's all thematically timed in here, and I didn't get to finish my story about this, but obviously there was a reason for this because now I get to share it today. All right, scroll my typewriter back to the return here. All right, so yesterday I shared a content creator on YouTube. Her name is Margot Elise Miller, and I like her presentations because it's staccato, rapid fire, pump you up, heavy concepts to make you understand better what's going on, in the big scheme of your whole life, right? She talks about overcoming adversity and remembering to be confident in yourself and to be self-reliant in lots of ways. These are all messages that I really dig. Even though Margot Elise Miller is mainly presenting to females, I find her messages informative and inspirational, and I was happy to share that with you. So anyway, I didn't get to share this part yesterday. I didn't know we were going to elaborate on these things today, but here I go. So you know how Meta or Facebook, like when you scroll and you stay for a couple of minutes on something, they think, oh, you want to see more of that. Like I like looking at tiny homes. Tiny homes are so much fun. And so, I see one or two websites with tiny homes, and I guess the algorithm says, fire a whole bunch more tiny home sites. And, then you get overwhelmed with it, right? So obviously I'm watching Margot Elise Miller a lot. And guess what? All of a sudden an algorithm starts sending me this other lady. And I got to tell you, this lady looked a lot like Margot Elise Miller. And now I got to slow down because I was so confused. I thought it was Margot Elise Miller. I was watching it and I'm all, is that her? Is that not her? And so look, I like looked at the house that she was sitting in because she just got a new house. And I had looked at the house and, good for her. I'm really happy for her. We should all have a house. Okay. We should all have a house. But anyway, I remember what her house looked like. And then I'm looking at this lady who looks like Margot Elise Miller. I'm looking at her house. Her house looks almost the same, but no, it's not Margot Elise Miller's house. And then this lady's even sitting. She's even sitting like Margot Elise Miller does. I can't do an impression of her. Okay. And I'm all, she's got the same body language, but that's not Margot Elise. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because whatever this lady is saying, it's like not even registering with me. I have no idea. It's like, I have no concept. I can't even follow her train of thought. So I first wondered, I swear, this happened like last week or like 10 days ago. I wonder if this is like somebody co-opting Margot Elise Miller. Someone saying, you know what, Margot Elise Miller is getting a lot of looks. If I do the same thing, I'm sure people will just tune in, It reminds me of the idea. So I'm going to go way back in history here to the 1970s. There was an American politician here in the United States named Geraldine Ferraro, and she was on the ticket, I believe, with Walter Mondale to run for president. And they thought that just because they had a woman, on the ticket, they would garner a lot of women's votes. And that may be true. Maybe a lot of women did think it was a good idea. Geraldine Ferraro was a very competent and nice lady, as far as I could tell, from what I could remember. But anyway, just because someone's a woman, that doesn't mean that they're who you want in charge, for example. By contrast, I would say there's a different personality. Her name is Sarah Palin, and she was on the ticket with John McCain. And again, they actually said it on the news, they have a woman on the ticket, you might get more women's votes. Well, in this case with Margot Elise Miller, just because you throw someone who looks like that lady and she's like acting like her, that doesn't mean it's her. She's not sharing the same content. All right. So now okay, getting all excited. It's that third cup of espresso, everybody. I wanted to be prepared and now I'm all energetic. All right. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm having a conversation with this algorithm, I'm all, stop sending me ladies that look like Margot Elise Miller. Okay. That's not going to work for me. And to follow up on a theme from yesterday, I would say, have you got a pinup of Gina Lollobrigida? Okay, that might interest me. I don't know what Gina Lollobrigida looked like. She's a celebrity from a time gone by, but I understand she was a very attractive Italian lady. Oh, now I think of Sophia Loren. So anyway, that might interest me, but stop sending me these fake ladies that look like Margot Elise Miller, please. Okay. And then another thing that might interest me, and this is going to sound kooky, but again, welcome to StarCard Podcast. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. So everybody knows the famous actress Lucy Liu. Her last name is Liu. She's been in so many movies. Charlie's Angels movies. She was in, what's the one that I liked? I forget which one I liked. It'll come to me. But the thing is, I liked Lucy Liu when she did a voiceover in the cartoon Futurama where there was a Lucy Liu character. That was a lot of fun. That was intriguing. I dig it when actors and actresses break down that fourth wall. Another an example of this, by the way, I can't help thinking about this one. There's a Saturday Night Live skit. Am I screening through the channels too quickly for everybody here? I hope you're having a good time listening. So anyway, there's a Saturday Night Live skit with Will Ferrell, Kenan Thompson, and Eddie Murphy was the guest. Now, you may remember that Eddie Murphy was in a movie where he probably deserved an Oscar for playing all these characters at the same time. And anyway, they made a joke about that in that scene where Kenan Thompson and Eddie Murphy pretend to be prisoners and they're talking tough to some kids to straighten them out. And, they mention all these movies all the time. And then they do mention the movie about Eddie Murphy. And then, of course, Eddie Murphy's in character as another character, and he's standing right there while they're talking about his movie. So I dig that fourth wall thing. Anyway, congratulations and thanks. Yeah. Oh, Kill Bill, Lucy Liu. Was she not outstanding in Kill Bill? I mean, it was too violent, but she again, very consistent. Really enjoy her performances. All right. So I talked about the fake Margot Elise Miller, right? Okay. Guess what, everybody? $10 says that by the end of March, there's going to be a fake Breakaway Ray out there. There's going to be a fake away Ray. I'm sure of it because I've been ripped off before. I'll give examples of that another time, but I'm quite sure in a couple of months, we're going to see somebody who's going to show up with a tie and there's going to be some lights behind him. And then he's going to pretend to talk about the stuff that I talk about. Anyway, I can't wait. I'm going to share it as soon as I find one and we'll all have a good laugh. All right. So what's next? Okay. We talked about copying images and making videos of people that make it look like they're doing stuff that they didn't do, right? Even yesterday, I think we mentioned there's even 3D hologram performers of performers who are not alive anymore. I think it's Tupac and Michael Jackson, and they do that in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the great casino entertainment venues. Quite remarkable. And then, hey, everybody, don't forget, they could do cloning. They've been doing cloning forever. It's just another technology that we don't know about. We all agreed to live like cavemen in these cities that were left over by the previous civilization, okay? But they do have cloning. And now I'd like to point out that in the description today, I put a link to the channel St. Olga 69, and I tried to link the folder to the playlist called The Donald Marshall Show. So if you're interested in cloning, ladies and gentlemen, you can delve into the Donald Marshall Show. I realize that this is a program for adults only. Nevertheless, I got to warn you, it's very rough listening. But that's where I got a lot of information about cloning. That's one place. It's been around forever. Let's see what else I got on my notes here. Okay, so I've got some questions, and it's all related to cloning, right? Here we go. Can I do this? Here, that's better. I got questions and answers here. Here I go. See if this works. Can you 3D print meat? Yes. Can you clone an animal? Yes. Can you clone cells to make a new organ? Yes. And did they have cloning in Atlantis? Yes. Is it natural for an advanced civilization to use cloning? Probably. Don't they talk about clones in movies all the time? That's soft disclosure. Pay attention. Do they already use cloning in the breakaway civilizations? Yes, of course. You almost can't have a breakaway civilization without cloning. You need people to do jobs. Okay, we're just not told about cloning. It's another slice of knowledge that has been taken away from us and hidden. Usually they patent it and they protect it under national security. And again, that prevents our civilization from advancing or returning to a technology we used to have, a level that we used to be at. All right, on to page 3, we're doing good. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. We could just call it the law of deepfake, but that's not fun enough for me. I'm going to call it the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. It reminds me of that appearance Lucy Liu made in that Futurama cartoon. And in that cartoon, they were making copies of Lucy Liu. They were making copies of Lucy Liu, and eventually there's like a whole out-of-control army of Lucy Liu robots. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to call it the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama because I want it to be fun. I want people to remember it right away, and it's an easy way to think about that other relationship there. What are we talking about? You could make an image of anything. Anyway, let's move on to what I got. The law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. Okay. John Whitberg tells us that part of what keeps everyone honest is that everyone understands about deep fakes. Anything can be faked. Anything can be made showing an untrue event. That's been true for decades. Okay. So when this happens, nobody loses their minds. Nobody lights up torches, grabs pitchforks, and joins a mob. It sounds like I'm making a joke, but I'm really not. So I'm going to repeat it. Okay. Anything can be faked. Anything can be made showing an untrue event. So in the breakaways, so nobody loses their minds, nobody lights up torches, grabs pitchforks, and joins a mob. Okay. This is because they understand propaganda. Now, you could go right to our own traditional history and remember the kind of propaganda credited to a guy named Goebbels and Leni Riefenstahl, the famous cinematic pioneer. And this would be in mid-20th century Germany. Okay. How effective was their propaganda? Okay. And here's another thing. I can't even believe that I know this part because the continent of Africa is known as the dark continent here in the United States because we really don't know a lot about it. And we don't hear a lot from the continent of Africa. But here's something that I did hear about. And I know that we do not hear enough about this. I hear about this like once a year, maybe, in the general media that I peruse day to day. And that is, there's a country called Rwanda, Rwanda. And there was a conflict between two groups of people. One group was called the Tutsi and one was called the Hutu. Got that correct? Yeah. There was a conflict between these two groups. And in fact, what I heard was that radio had a lot to do with it. There were members of these two groups, and they lived like in suburbs next to each other. But some people listened to a particular radio program. I don't know which side was which. And it turns out that at a certain time, whoever this person was or this organization was that was operating this, broadcasting this from this radio station, they like gave the green light to commit an act of violence against the public, the people that were from the other group. And you might know more about this if you've seen the movie Hotel Rwanda. There's a gentleman in that movie that's also plays a Marvel superhero, War Machine. Okay. I always forget that guy's name, but he knows a lot about that situation. And I know he was in a movie that I didn't see about it. So I wanted to point that out because we all have to be careful. We all have to be cognizant and aware of deep fakes. Just because we see it on TV or on our little screens or whatever, that doesn't mean it really happened. I mean, we know just from 20th century style technology, you could edit things to make it look like someone said something that they really didn't say. And now it's pretty much crazy. You really can't tell at all. All right, so I want to present all those things. I wonder if I've got anything left on my notes here. Well, I do have I'm going to throw tarot cards in a minute, but I do want to share this little postscript to the whole thing, the postscript to my presentation this morning. And it says, here's what I wrote, off planet. Sorry about that. Off planet, I understand that media is insipid. Am I using that word correctly? It's like bereft of, meaning and impact, because it's all done by artificial devices. I guess it's cheaper to ask a computer to write a script for a TV show, for example. Sound familiar? So the difference is, we still have a culture where people can write and use an imagination that a computer can never have. And along that line of thinking, this is why locations around the galaxy that use non-human creation for media, appeal as much as it does here. We don't like the media created by artificial intelligence any more than they do. So let's hold on to what's precious, but we do have to exercise our minds. We have to exercise our minds. And there's been I've only been around 6 decades here, but I've seen a real slide down, the kinds of expectations we have for ourselves as far as being capable beings and using all of our potential. What else have I got here? All right, so here's what I wrote. I'll just close with this and we'll ask the Tarot World next. Okay, if we don't exercise and use our brains, we deserve to get sucker punched by Skynet. All right, so now I'm going to ask the Tarot World to comment on my law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. All right, I got it all organized. I'm so proud of myself. Here I go, everybody. Yeah, check it out. I'm going to take my Haiku Tarot Star, turn it over. Law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. All right, let's hear from the Tarot World on the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm having a good time. Law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. Here we go. All right, Tarot World. I hope I did a good job. Would you care to summarize and point us in the right direction regarding the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama? Thank you very much, Tarot World. Thanks for your help. We're having a good time again. And we got customers lined up for tarot for the audience. Here we go. The law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. The law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. Let's all be careful. Let's start using our brains more. Here we go. First up, it's the Knight of Swords. Is that the guy that we just started with before? So we're being encouraged. You know what? Let's go to a different book. Let's go right to the Robin Hood book. We're being encouraged in a big way. It sounds, if we got the same card twice, I'll have to check the recording later. Knight of Swords. Sorry, everybody. Give me a minute to find it. There we go. The Knight of Swords, a soldier, heroic, brave, righteous anger, triumph over an opposition, a practical solution to a problem. We're the one that's going to score the slam dunk at the buzzer. We're being cheered on by the Tarot World. and you're watching StarCard Podcast. All right, hang on a moment, please. Okay. Let's read about the Star Card from the same book. Hope and faith, a blending of the best of the past and present. Bright prospects, mastering the occult arts, and awareness of two worlds. All right. I want to say that the tarot world has been with us here the whole time and heard the whole speech and has given us a high five. Okay. They just described what we just spent the last half hour doing. We're doing what we do at StarCard. We're talking about two worlds. Okay. Making a transition. We're going for it. The Five of Cups. We can look at what's disappointing, or we can turn around and grab what we got and go. I mean, was it a mess? Did they make it a mess for the past century and a half? Could they have done much better? Yeah, sure. All right, but we can't give up now. We still got a hotel to get to. Okay, we got a place to visit. Okay, let's grab what we got and go. Here's the strength card, which is Breakaway Ray's exclamation point. So whatever I just said, Tarot World really liked it. Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is the happy surprise guy. Okay, I'm talking about the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama. And the reply so far seems to be, you guys are right on target. Thanks for spreading the word. Yeah, things are messed up, but we got to make a break for the new world, and we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. We're all going to be pleasantly surprised. And in conclusion, this has got to be the caution, maybe an observation, some kind of attention paid to the law of Deep-Fake-A-Rama, because this is mostly like a general thing, but it is really part of a big transition. Wow. We have the Emperor card and the Magician card. So the Emperor represents control and the Magician is making magic. And I guess one way of looking at that sentence is to say whoever's in control is making the magic. They create the images. But it also is a message for all of us over here at StarCard, because we're in control and we make the magic. You know, are we going to exercise our minds and let our consciousness be paramount over everyone else? Or are we just going to sit on the couch and be a couch potato and get programmed? Oh, well, all right, Tarot World. That was a pretty outstanding reading. Thank you very much. Let's give these cards a toss. Sweet. So it's about four something in the morning here where I am, and I just laughed. And usually I'm not laughing like that at 4 in the morning. I don't know about you. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to go through the chat now and say hi to the people that are in the audience. I'll be looking for those capital letter messages so I can pull out your name tag if you're a return visitor, and we'll give you your individual tarot throws. So let's say hi. All right. And I do read the chat after the show. Thanks, everyone, for your participation. It's very interesting. I appreciate the courtesy and respect you show to one another as well as me. So thank you very much. It's so nice to be with everybody. Let's say hi to Arizona Raven. She was already in the chat before I was ready to turn on the camera. Good morning, Arizona Raven. We're in the same time zone. Hi, Namira. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Hi, Lisa Talcott. Welcome back. And hi, Salama. All right. Good to see you. Hi, Flix Love. Awesome. Way to go, Flix Love. I think I saw Derek out there. Hi, Derek. Hi, Desiree. Woo Riders. Woo. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Julia. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Puck Elf. All right. Let me get your name tags out, everybody. So I have, hang on, I'll show you. So I've got Salamas right here, and I'm going through my pile now to find everyone's name tag that I said so far. Okay. Got Lisa Talcott, Flixlove, Buck Elf. Namira. Team Mood Riders. Julia and Arizona Raven. Now, if I pulled out your name tag and you don't want a reading, make sure you put it in the chat and I will cancel. But I'm happy to throw cards for you if you're inviting. Well, actually, I'm going to go through the chat now and look for those capital letter messages. Let's see what's going on, because sometimes people have specific questions, right? So let's check it out. All right, Arizona Raven, good. There's Salama, good. I see your message, Salama. I'll probably take care of you first. All right, got Lisa's request. Oh, hey, Judy's here. Hi, Judy. One card. Got it. Did I miss somebody? Okay. So I'm going to throw for Judy first because she wants one card. And then I'm going to go to Salama with her specific question. And I think I'm going to take one of my 3 timeouts right now. So do enjoy the festive StarCard Podcast studios. I'll be back in a moment. All right. Welcome back to me. Hope you've been keeping each other company. All right. So we're going to throw for Judy first. Here we go, Judy. All right. Thanks for tuning in, Judy. This is NW5. All right, Tarot World. Got a special card for Judy. So great that she could tune in, check in with us here at StarCard. One card for Judy, please. I think that was the card. That one was bumping into my finger while I was asking the question. It's the Six of Cups. It's the Happy Memories card. It's the Nostalgia card. The sun is shining. There seems to be like a school or a church on the hill, and there's spring flowers everywhere. There's enough to share. All right, Judy, thanks for inviting me to read. Have a great day out there. I'm going to give these a toss. Thank you very much, Judy. I got your message. That is really nice. I really appreciate that. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to the chat and just double check my message for Salama. Okay. We're interested in job opportunities coming up soon. Could you share more about job opportunities for Salama? Do you have any signposts that we can share with Salama regarding job opportunities coming up? Please share any information you can. Here we go. I got all those cards that just popped out. I'll review them in a minute. But I'm going to throw a couple more here. Okay. All right, Salama. It's for entertainment purposes only. Something that one of the tarot readers I watch says, she says, take what resonates. You know, if it doesn't all work, it doesn't all work. That goes for everybody, right? A lot of us like listening to other people's messages just because it's inspiring to think about in their own lives. I know that I used to have a friend who would read horoscopes, but not read her sign. She would just keep reading until she found one that she liked. So anyway, these cards popped out while we were shuffling and talking and praying. The Magician, making your own magic happen. The Nine of Cups, making the wish come true take place. The Eight of Cups says that, you know, we're walking away from something. And look what we're walking away, but look at what's at the end. It's the King of Pentacles. I wonder if this is just a summation of our intent. Would you please tell us what magic thing is going to happen so I can walk away from this situation and get back into the King of Pentacles with job opportunities. So that's like maybe a little summation of our question, which would be very clever indeed. It also could be taken as instructions. Make your own magic happen. You know, obviously that doesn't seem to apply. We already know you're doing the best that you can. So anyway, let's see what these cards reveal. There could be, you know, they say that tarot cards give multi-dimensional meanings. So here's some sentences I see when I look at these cards: the Four of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. The Four of Swords encourages us to meditate or even to take it easy or relax. The Knight of Cups talks about a knight in shining armor, and the Ace of Cups talks about a new life. And so in one way, if you're talking about it from, maybe a spiritual perspective, through meditation, we can connect with our spirit guides who would work with us as a knight in shining armor to get us there. So there is promise. This sentence ends with the Ace of Cups. It's the trophy. It's the best. It's the new life. This sentence, remember, because these cards fell off, top to bottom here, led to the King of Pentacles. Either way, it leads, to where you want to go. Oh, maybe we should read it the other way around. We had a good thing going. Now we're looking for a new wish to come true. Time to make the magic happen. Going to make the magic happen by meditating and inviting the spirit world to collaborate with me so I can find my way to the Ace of Cups. Here at StarCard Podcast, that is like the one thing I could talk about. Again, entertainment purposes only. There's a book called, I shared it on a previous podcast, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. I don't expect that you're even interested in hearing about this part. We want to hear practical things. We want to hear, pursue this area, this subject or this strand of employment. Aim for this particular job. Look in this department. These are not things that I can share with you through the tarot cards. Not yet. I'm not good at that kind of thing. But I can tell you that this does have a happy ending and a new life. I'll read to you what it says on the Ace of Cups so we can all aim for it. Love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, and marriage. These are good things coming. You are probably going to be increasing your magical powers. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading, Salama. I obviously we're all cheering you on. Thanks for inviting me to read. Oh, I got to scroll down in the chat. I don't see anyone's messages right now. I hope I didn't overstate things there. Okay, very good. Anyway, good luck, Salama. Thank you very much. Next up, I think I saw that Flix Love checked out. That's okay. She knows she could check her recording and she'll find her snow guy right there. All right, Flix Love, let's get you a reading. Let's get some pretty flowers here for Flix Love. All right, Flix Love, thanks for checking in. Good to see you in the chat. That was fun talking about rock music with you yesterday. All right, Tarot World. We got a fun, inspirational message for our friend Flix Love. All right, I like how the country of the Netherlands is overrepresented in the chat. That's pretty cool. It couldn't have happened any other way. Oh, yeah, I got you. I saw your message there, Puck Elf. I've got your schoolhouse set aside. Thank you again for your message, Puck Elf. Here we go, Flix Love. The Emperor, the Control card. The Star card. Rejuvenation, inspiration, having hope. The Ten of Swords, the end of a painful episode. The Fool, now it's a new beginning, a new adventure. The Nine of Cups, it's a wish come true. Get out of here. How positive you want to get here. You're totally in control. Have hope. The hard times are over. It's a new adventure and a wish come true. Oh my goodness. Wow. And then you close with the Hermit and the Magician. The Hermit, turning inward, soul searching, finding meaning, and the Magician, making magic happen. I guess there's going to be a lot of magic made when you act like the Hermit. And I just want to say, when I look at these two ladies, they kind of look like they're going out to, paint the town red, Anyway, way to go, Flix Love. Thanks for inviting me to read, Flix Love. That was a fun reading. Let's see who's next. Julia. You asked for the neon deck one time. Maybe you'd like me to throw neon again. Here we go, the neon deck for Julia. Wow. All right. We're getting some lovely and wonderful tosses today. I know the tarot world wants to share a special message for Julia. A fun, inspirational message for Julia, please. Thank you very much. Here we go. These cards are for Julia. These cards are for Julia. Thanks for tuning in, Julia. First up, it's the Hanged Man. Looking at things differently than before. Then the Ace of Swords. Truth. That's like a rough message. I'm not sure I would want to hear that. Have another look at what we thought was the truth. The Empress. I'm going to go read about the Empress. Where did I put that book? All right, I'm going to read about the Empress right now. The Empress. There is beauty, abundance, femininity in your life. There may be a new opportunity, romance, art, or new business on the horizon. Focus on your senses and on creative expression. You will experience pleasure and deep fulfillment. Taking time out to smell the roses. The Seven of Cups. You must have a lovely garden. There's lots of opportunities there. Wow. And the Six of Wands talks about public recognition. Have another look because there's even more for you to see. You're in such a comfortable position with so many opportunities, and that's easily seen. It's like a parade. You deserve a parade. You deserve to be feted. So the Knight of Wands says, pursue your goals enthusiastically. Oh, yay. And the Tower card says, keep on knocking down those walls of knowledge that we have through your podcast. Okay. People have to see their own limits of understanding taken apart, and you're doing the job. That's what the Tower card is for you. It's your mission pretty much. And the Nine of Swords talks about sleepless nights. But here at StarCard Podcast, I like to turn these cards upside down. You don't need to be preoccupied or in a hurry or pressured. Obviously, you move with grace and ease anyway. That's how you've been able to accomplish so much. So this is one of those cards. I'm turning it upside down. So if the tarot world was talking, I'm just pretending, right? This is all for entertainment purposes only. Hey, take another look at what's all around you, because you have some great opportunities and you're doing a great job. You should be celebrated for the work that you're doing. So keep on knocking down those walls of understanding. You don't need to worry whether or not you're on your soul's path. You're doing it correctly. There you go. Lovely cards. Right on, Julia. Thanks for inviting me to read. Let me give these a toss. Now, hey, I'm going to throw some cards for Derek. I don't know if Derek caught my reading for him last time. And let's throw these guys. Here you go, Derek. Hope you're having a good one out there. Let's throw some cards for Derek. Well, I gave the cards cut right to shuffle, and I got the 2 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. The 2 of Swords talks about a big decision, a crossroads, but the 9 of Pentacles says, fruits of your labor. It's almost like, you got a work bonus or something. What are we going to do with it? Let's throw some cards. These cards are for Derek. Yeah, I'm going to leave this out then. Fine. Cool. That's what we're talking about then. What's going on with the fruits of one's labor? You got a message for Derek? Derek probably already knows what the message is. I bet we see the High Priestess card or the Hierophant. These cards are for Derek. What's going on? Very interesting. All right. The 4 of Cups. I'm going to go to the book. The 4 of Cups. There might be opportunities that you are turning down and offers that you are refusing. You can feel yearning and regret, and you might be focusing on the negative. Contemplate and meditate over this and reevaluate what is important to you. Realizing what makes you feel bored and unhappy and doing something about it can help you make a change for the better. This is the meditation and reevaluation card, and it's the one that reminds us to be grateful for all the things the universe provides for us. This card shows some guy, and he's not like recognizing the other cup. Anyway, let's continue. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. All right, here we go. We have the Page of Wands. I want to read about this guy. The Page of Wands. You feel fresh, cheerful, childlike, and full of energy. You are having bright ideas and new exciting plans. You are being creative, free-thinking, and fearless. You are finding your passion, making discoveries, investments, or advancements in life. Just be careful not to rush into things without considering the consequences. Oh, this is a story. You were reevaluating things, and now perhaps you're moving forward. And the Emperor says you're in total control. Okay. And the Fool card shows up and says it's a new adventure for you. You guys all saw I drew these randomly, right? Okay. And the 8 of Swords says as much as you can imagine. Oh, what a great... I mean, just pretending, Derek. Wow, we really want to go river rafting and water skiing in Nevada this summer. It's going to be, I don't know if we should do it, but you know what? We did save up for the vacation. So anyway, you set up the whole plan. You laid out the plan. You're in total control. You go on the adventure. It's a great adventure as much as you can imagine. All right. It was worth it. Yo, and look at how happy your family is with the 10 of Pentacles. It was good times. All right. Want to get a screenshot, Derek? Thanks for inviting me to read, Derek. If you invited me to read, it's great to have you here. Really appreciate your support, Derek. All right. Thank you, Tarot World. Awesome message. That was fun. Yes, Puck Elf, I see your message. I got your schoolhouse ready. Why don't I find it right now? Here you go, Puck Elf. And we're going to go 3 cards for Puck Elf. I want to get 88 gemstones out. Here we go. All right, Tarot World. I know you have a special, invigorating message for our friend down in Australia. 3 cards for Puck Elf, please. 3 fun, inspirational cards for Puck Elf. These cards are for Puck Elf. Thanks for tuning in, Puck Elf. Here we go. The 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. Wow. I think I made mention, that's what I want on my t-shirt. If I were to go back in time to a Grateful Dead concert. All right. So the 10 of Pentacles talks about domestic bliss, divine harmony, long-term happiness. The 9 of Swords talks about sleepless nights and anxiety. But the 10 of Swords says, you know what? The hard times are over. So in case you were worried, I mean, these cards are for you. In case you were worried, you know what? The hard times are over. Okay. Way to go, Puck Elf. Yay. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. Let me give these a toss. All right. And now, how about some cards for Namira? I got Namira, Lisa Talcott, and an Arizona Raven. So here we go with Namira. And I like throwing the ethereal bloom for Namira with the flowers. Thanks, Namira, for tuning in. These cards are for Namira. Whoa. A fun inspirational message for Namira, please. Thanks for the practice, everybody. This is great for me, learning how to do tarot by practicing with you. Thanks for tuning in. These cards are for Namira. God, and you subscribers, thanks so much. You motivate me to turn on the camera. Hey, I have almost as many videos as I have subscribers. I'm going for it. Here we go. Let's get 2 more cards here for Namira. These cards are for Namira. First up, the Wheel of Fortune. Hang on one moment, please. The Wheel of Fortune. Good luck, bad luck, fate, destiny. You know, if things were going good for a while, well, you might have to average out that experience a little bit. And if things weren't going so great, you could expect things to start turning upward. The 3 of Cups sounds like turning upward because the 3 of Cups ladies are celebrating. Yeah. The 7 of Cups talks about lots of opportunities. Too many bowls of soup to choose from there. The 7 of Pentacles talks about having a long-term view and cultivating growth. And the Page of Pentacles, well, I'm going to go to the book. The Page of Pentacles, good news is coming to you in earthly matters such as money, business, education, career, property, or health. Be inspired. You are now setting goals, laying foundations, developing a plan, and manifesting. You are ambitious and diligent. You decide what you want and you go for it and have excellent future prospects. It's time for you to start feeling lucky. I wouldn't celebrate until you reach the end zone. If you understand the NFL, the American football analogy, you know, don't do your celebration dance until you actually get into the end zone, you know, and you cross the boundary in for the point. Okay. Once the ball is in the net, okay, then you can celebrate. Okay. I would like to remind everyone about the American football player, Leon Lett. Look up Leon Lett and, you know, sliding in the snow. It's a great scene from American football about a guy that celebrated a little bit. No, he didn't celebrate. He made a bad mistake. Anyway, let's move back here, Namira. Start feeling lucky. Good stuff is coming your way. Lots of opportunities for growth. Okay. Lots of ways to pass your energy on for growth. Yay. So the last 2 cards say, so it says the 10 of Cups is a dream come true And the Page of Wands is like the announcement that, here it comes. So look at you. You got 2 pages, like exclamation points announcing, here comes the dream come true. Anyway, Namira, have some fun out there. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. Here we go. Give these a toss. Next up, it's it's Arizona Raven and Lisa Talcott. You're welcome, Namira. Thanks for your message. So I always save Lisa Talcott for the end because there's like a little musical number that goes along with it. But let's throw some cards for Arizona Raven. And she's old school. We're going to go Robin Wood. These cards for Arizona Raven. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Arizona Raven. All right. A fun, inspirational message for Arizona Raven. All your messages seem so textured. Like, it's not just like, it's like the Lord of the Rings movies. You can watch one of them, but there's really like 18 different movies going on. Anyway, let's see what these cards have to say. Thanks for inviting me to read. Here we go. Oh, wow. Thanks for tuning in to StarCard Podcast. Be inspired, be rejuvenated, and then okay. Wow, the 6 of Pentacles talks about giving and receiving. It even talks about charity. Wow. The Empress. All right, that does it. I'm going to find another book to read about the Empress. She's pretty awesome. There's the book. The Empress. Pregnancy, fertility, good advice, safety, security, hidden actions. A competent woman, safe and secure, who is building a future for herself and her family. Wow. I mean, if we're talking about a family, I'm imagining that you came into this whole thing inspired to give from the position of the Empress, meaning like you're destined to do it. You were cut out for this. You showed this trait since you were born. Very caring individual. Of course, I'm thinking about how you, care for the animals. So the 7 of Wands indicates that there's a challenge. And although you look like you're alone, you have the higher ground. You could take on all the challenges. Wow. And then you're not really on your own. I know I said with the 7 of Wands, it looks like you're on your own. You have the higher ground. But check it out. You got the Lovers card, and that indicates that you are not alone. And if you look, there's a star shining down upon the Lovers. And, the Lovers indicates a connection with the spirit world. And I think you already know, you get through most of your challenges. That's when the spirit world steps in and gives you a hand, right? These cards are something else. All right, so let's turn over these last 2. Wow. The show's not over. You got the 9 of Pentacles, the fruits of your labor, and the Chariot card. Well, you're still in a good position. Your company is doing great on the stock market. You are on an upward slope. You're increasing in value. You get to keep on going for the foreseeable future. All right, Arizona Raven, thanks a lot for tuning in to StarCard Podcast. Thanks for inviting me to read. Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that message. Whoops. And then finally, here we go, Lisa Talcott. And it looks like this is going to be my last one. If there's someone else out there who wants a reading, do let me know now. Hey, Arizona Raven, thanks very much for that feedback. Really appreciate it. Whoa. Here we go. And now finally, let's have another fun, inspirational message for Lisa Talcott. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, Lisa Talcott. You know what? If I've got like a name tag for you, everybody, like if you've got one of these with your name on it at my house, you're on my mind. And I just want to say I feel supported when I look at the little snowmen in the schoolhouses and I think, wow, I got friends out there. So I really appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for making your support conspicuous, Lisa. A little 6 of Wands on that support. Appreciate it. These cards are for Lisa. All right, so now we cue the music to the Harlem Globetrotters, Sweet Georgia Brown, and we take care of Lisa's cards. Here we go. All right. So which card do you think it is? I'm just kidding. First up, it's the Knight of Swords, galloping enthusiastically forward. 8 of Pentacles on our long-term project. You got some kind of long-term project going on, and it's a good idea. The Hierophant suggests that you might need to get a permit for it. You might need to interact with some kind of social or governmental organization to get accomplished whatever it is. So you may have to learn something as well. You may have to pay a fee. Like you're renting a plot of land to do some gardening, in your local neighborhood in the city. Wow, the World card says it's all over. It's accomplishment. I'm not going to cover up this card, everybody. You could use your imagination. That's up to you. Everybody loves the World card. The adventure's over. Oh, whatever you were doing, you're all done. All the boxes are checked off. All the licenses are on file. Show's over. You should feel a sense of accomplishment. 10 of Pentacles. How about those for an accomplishment? Domestic bliss, divine harmony, happy relationships. Great. Congratulations. Yeah, you went from 8 to 10. That's the end. So the Ace of Swords and the 2 of Wands. Now you got the truth on your side. You're totally aligned with whatever the best path is for you. And the 2 of Wands says you got a good plan. The universe likes your plan. You got the green light. Go for it. All right, Lisa. Keep on trucking. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I want to encourage you all to have the best day you possibly can. We'll see you next time on StarCard Podcast.